My name is Jake, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna do a Review My Pie video where I review subscriber portfolios. I absolutely love this series. I do this about once a month, so every 3 weeks I do a Review My Pie video. And to be honest, I really like this because there's a lot less research that go into these videos. It's more of a casual conversation, and I actually really look forward to it because it's not like crazy in editing and making sure that everything is perfect. It's more just like, hey, let's sit down, let's have a coffee or a hot chocolate, and let's talk about dividend investing. And that's why I love this series so much, because it's a little bit more casual. It's not, I don't really make these for clicks. I just genuinely enjoy it. Okay. And I love reading your emails. I love reading your messages. And it really just puts a smile on my face every single time. So if your time horizon is not in this video, it's very likely that in another video in this series that I've made, you'll find a different time horizon that maybe is something that you're looking for. Investing in the stock market, it's not always easy. It's not always fun, especially as a dividend investor here this year. You know, you look at the last, year to date in my portfolio, it's like flat with the dividends reinvested. Over the last week, I'm down like a Toyota Corolla. And really cool. Down about 25 grand. That's always fun. That's like a bazillion PlayStations. But, the market works in cycles. It goes up and down. Over the last year, this portfolio here in M1 has generated just about 40,000 in dividends. It's entirely passive. I don't really do a lot with this portfolio, even though I'm an addict and I check my app like 10 times a day to check and see what my portfolio is doing. It's like trying to watch paint dry, but that's how it is. But yeah, once again, if you're new to the channel, my name is Jake. I've been making YouTube videos for a couple years now. My wife and I, we just barely reached barista fire here at the age of 37 here in 2023. So we're still working on the side, but we're living off of the dividend income from our portfolio. But yeah, if you're new, welcome. And if you've been here for a while, welcome back. So in today's Review My Pie, we're going to have one subscriber question, and then we're going to take a look at 3 portfolios. The first question is going to be from an 18-year-old from New Zealand, and then the first portfolio is going to be from a 24-year-old here in the US. The second is a 27-year-old from the US, and the third is a 44-year-old from the US. And spoiler, there's 2 girls. So everybody, we got girls in the chat. Be on your best behavior. Usually it's just a bunch of dudes that send me their portfolio, but in today's week, we got 2 girls. So guys, be on your best behavior. And as always, everybody, the timestamps will be in the description below, as well as the portfolio links will be in the description below. As always, everybody, I don't review the portfolios in advance. I want to make it as authentic as I can. And also, once again, I am not a financial advisor. This is just merely for your entertainment. And as I mentioned earlier, I created this YouTube channel for new and beginner investors. And if you think that learning to invest is hard, it's okay, you're not alone. But you apparently haven't tried leveling in World of Warcraft hardcore, because learning to invest is easy compared to leveling in hardcore WoW. And it kind of looks a little like this.
The red aspect? You're just saying it because of this. Okay, like... Oh! Fucking cool. My day is ruined.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I've been watching so many of those videos on YouTube where people die at like level 60 when they're raiding, or I love it. I could watch it all day. But anyways, really quick, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, I do this a couple of times a week. I do offer my time to any of you that want to sit down one-on-one and talk about dividend growth investing. I can't give you financial advice, but I can share with you thoughts and ideas of, how to look at this and, kind of share more about, how to invest based off your investing time horizon. If you're interested in that, you can check that out. It's a lot of fun. I do this a couple of times a week. It's always great to meet you in person. I do it over Google Meet so we can share our screen and share our video and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in the description below. Okay, let's take a look at the question here from Lola. She writes here, I'm an 18-year-old citizen of New Zealand, and I've been researching investment opportunities recently and have decided to explore the idea of investing into US ETFs for long-term success. As I'm currently in a high tax bracket, I'm reaching out to seek your expert advice on the best approach to achieve my investment goals. Having assessed my financial situation and goals, I'm looking to invest approximately 4 to 10K New Zealand dollars annually over the next 10 to 12 years. I understand the importance of a diversified portfolio, and I aim to make informed decisions that align with my long-term objectives. Given my age and the extended investment time horizon, I'm particularly interested in ETFs that can provide growth potential while minimizing unnecessary risk. That's important. Minimizing unnecessary risk. Okay. I've heard that US ETFs offer a wide range of options, and I would greatly appreciate your recommendation on specific ETFs that have historically shown success for investors like me. Furthermore, I'm interested in ETFs that align with the principles of tax efficiency given the complexities of international taxation. I'd like to ensure that my investments are structured in a way that optimize returns. Your insights and expertise would be invaluable as I embark on this investment journey. I'm excited to learn more from your recommendations and take steps towards building a secure financial future. If you provide me with your thoughts on suitable ETFs, along with your considerations about currency risk, dividend yields, long-term growth potential, I'd be extremely grateful. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I'm looking forward to your guidance and suggestions. Please feel free to reach out on your convenience. I understand that your time is okay. Best, Lola. All right. Well, hey, Lola, this is incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. You're 18 years old. You're thinking about taxation, optimization, financial future, all those things that I wasn't thinking about. I was thinking about leveling up my mage and WoW, right? Like, so you are a decade plus ahead of me, which is, and probably the majority of people that you know as well. So this is absolutely incredible. A couple of things here. So the taxation, you'll want to Google what the taxation will look like for New Zealand residents investing into other investments. You'll want to look at the headquarters of the company. But all in all, like, you're a perfect candidate for what I always talk about when it comes to the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. And that is invest into DGRO and SCHD, invest as much as you can, as often as you can, and hold them forever. Period. That's the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. I coined that about a year ago. A lot of YouTubers are now talking about this. I guess they watch my videos, but this is the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. For me, it was inspired by J.L. Collins, who talks about investing in the total US stock market. But if you want the dividend twist, those two ETFs, SHD and DGRO, are really should be your go-to or should be on your radar. In my opinion, that's the best way to go. I would recommend going to my YouTube channel, go on the main page, and go and watch a couple of videos. First video I would watch is, the first one that I would watch would probably be this, the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. This one I made about a year ago. And then you could watch this one as well on the simple path to wealth. And then the next one I would watch is this one right here, the simple path to wealth using the core and satellite approach to investing. Those are definitely ones that I would watch. And then what I would recommend is how to invest based off of your investment time horizon. This one right here. This one is going to help you a lot because it's going to help you to understand growth rates and to optimize for tax efficiency. You don't want a 10% dividend yield right now, especially if it's in a taxable account. You want growth. You want optimized growth, and that's what I would recommend. Also, on a side note, for you in New Zealand, you want to understand your local tax accounts that you can take advantage of. Here in the United States, we have 401ks, Roth IRAs, HSAs, all that jazz. I don't know what it is in New Zealand, but that's something that you'll definitely want to take a look at. But educate yourself. There's not one single video that I would recommend. There's a handful of them. But the two most important videos that I've ever talked about for new investors is, number one, learn how to invest based off of your investing time horizon. Number one thing. The second thing, if you want to keep it simple, watch my videos on the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. I promise you, if you're new to this, it'll help you a bunch. Thank you so much for sending over the question. All right, the first portfolio is from Kenny writes, Hi Jake, How are you? I'm good, thanks. How are you? I hope you're doing well. My name is Ken. I've been watching your videos for about half a year now. Your videos are really amazing. Thanks, man. I appreciate you saying that. I can say that by watching your videos, all individuals can start the journey of investing by themselves. Thanks for your efforts. Your videos really sharpen my view on how to invest with dividends. I'm asking for your help if you could view and share your opinion on my portfolios. I'm currently 24 years old and I plan to retire at the age of 45. So that's about 20 years from now. I have both a taxable and a Roth IRA account. What do you think about my portfolio? Should I change anything? I know you don't recommend holding REITs if you have a long-term time horizon, but I only have a total of 1%. Just wanted to see the, okay. So I do recommend REITs, but you need to understand what you're investing in. So REITs are great. You don't have to start adding them in the very beginning. You could always add, like you said that you have a 20-year time horizon. You could add REITs like in 15 years. You don't have to add them today. Okay. Now, if you do want to add REITs, you can do that, but make sure you're going after REITs that have high CAGRs, compounded annual growth rates. And some of my favorite are AMT. This is a cell tower REIT. It's kind of a diversified REIT now because they acquired a data center REIT. But I like AMT, I like DLR, and I like PLD. If you want growth and you want REITs, go to town on these. These are my favorite growth REITs. I think it's cool because you're 24 years old. You got about 20 years before you plan on living off of your portfolio. All right, let's take a look at your taxable account. So your taxable account, you have 31 holdings, not bad. You have a good dividend yield. I actually like this dividend yield. I really like this expense ratio. It looks like you're following the core and satellite. So you definitely follow my channel. Core and satellite, if you don't know what that is, go and watch those videos on my channel. You'll know what I'm talking about. But what you have in here, you got 50% in ETFs, consumer, finance, tech, industrials, health. Okay, so what do you got here in ETFs? In ETFs, you got, oh, so you do follow the channel. Look at you, man. This is great. So you got DGRO and SHD. I love it. This is the simple path to wealth with dividend investing. This is my favorite way to invest. If you're 24 years old and you're watching this video, take a look at this. Like, this is golden. You might have some years where SHD doesn't do fantastic. It doesn't outperform everything. But over the long term, this is the easiest way to invest for the most optimal return with the least amount of work and stress and emotional stress to add. Okay, so you got SHD and DGRO as your core. In my opinion, you could even bump this from 50 all the way up to 70 or 80%. That's how much I feel about the simple path to wealth. But if you're a dividend nerd and you really want to optimize your portfolio, that's cool. But here, let me kind of give you a glimpse into the future. The more and more you learn about investing, I can almost promise you and almost guarantee you that the more and more, the older you get, the more you're going to increase this percentage. I can tell you that from personal experience. But everyone's different. Everyone's unique. But that's just something that and you can reference back a year from now and be like, Jake was right. Yep. So, or maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Okay, so what do you got in here? You got Home Depot, Costco, Starbucks, Lowe's, Pepsi, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Ultra Group. So 100% qualified dividend. You got kind of a bit in Home Depot. Home Depot. What do you got here? So you got 19. Let's check. Let's see what you have. 19 and 21. 0.19 times 0.21. So you got 4% of your overall portfolio, which is fine. Anything under 5%, I'm cool with. But this is absolutely fine. Okay, I like it. Finance, let's see what you got here in finance. Visa, JP Morgan, and Bank of America, 38%. Okay, that's fine. All right, now let's take a look at your technology. In tech, you got 50% Microsoft, 50% Apple. I think that's fine. I mean, if you're going to go, I think that's fine. When looking at your industrials, you got Texas Instruments. I'm pretty sure, is that a tech company? I'm pretty sure it's tech. Lockheed Martin, Waste Management, Caterpillar. I think these are great companies. What I'm looking for is like the overweighting in one single company. I'm looking at, if you have kind of a speculative play in here, because ideally you want this to be a set it and forget it, which for the most part, I believe this is. All right, now let's take a look at your healthcare. In health, you got AbbVie, Medtronic, and Johnson & Johnson. Okay, these are fine. You got quite a bit in AbbVie. Okay, AbbVie. Yeah, that's fine. It's not overweight really. Let's take a look at your telecom. You got Comcast, Disney, and Verizon. Okay, that's fine. And what do you got in utilities? You got Essential Waters and Extra Energy. Okay, these are both good. I like both of these companies. You only have them at like 1%, so it's really not a lot. You could always add them later, increase them later. Real estate, you got American Tower, you got Stag, which is also good, Prologis, and Realty Income. So these are high quality reads. I think if you want to add them, you're fine. I like that you have it only in 1%, and down the road in like 10 or 15 years, you could always bump this up to like 10%, right? So you could always readjust this as you get closer to your goal. So overall, I like this. The dividend yield is healthy. The companies in here are healthy. 31 is not too much because you have 2 ETFs, you have 29 holdings. It's manageable. It's a little bit on the higher end, I think, for most people. In my opinion, I would not look to add additional companies. I would look to optimize and trim versus adding. Okay, so that's just my opinion there. Now let's take a look at your retirement account, your Roth account. So in your Roth account, you got DGRO, SHD, and VTI. I like this. Okay, so there's a couple of ways that you can approach this. You can approach your Roth IRA kind of in 2 ways. You can look at it as a way of buying and holding and never selling, or you can look at it as if you're going to buy today and sell it later and rebalance. Let me give you an analogy, something that I shared in the DGI Defy group. We have a private community here. The link's in the description below if you want to join. But what we talked about here this last week is we talked about when you think about your investments, think about investing in 2 ways. One, it's you're buying and holding and you're living off of the income. Think of it as like a rental property. You're investing into a building, a home, and you're living off the rent and you never plan on selling it. That is a dividend stock. The other way that you can think about it is think about buying a home with the intention of selling it or flipping it in the future. Those are the 2 ways that I view investing. And so when you're thinking about DGRO and SHD, are DGRO and SHD like a home that you're going to rent and never sell? Or are you planning on selling them in the future? Okay. And so with VTI for me, that's a flip. Once you reach the age of 59 and a half, VTI, and essentially what you would probably want to do is you're going to want to sell VTI because the dividend is too low. You're not going to be able to live off the dividend in most cases. So VTI is like a flip. DGRO and SHD, they're like rental properties that you're going to hold forever and never sell and pass on to your kids. Does that make sense? That's how I view investing. Investing like in real estate with a rental property or investing into real estate to flip. And it's the same principle when you apply that to investing in the stock market. Depending on your goal, what your plans are with this, that's going to determine how you set this up. But as it stands, I love the allocation. I love the ETFs. I love the low expense ratio, the growth rates. It's great for your time horizon. I think you did a stellar job. So thank you so much for sending over your portfolio. All right, the next portfolio is from Hayden. He writes, "Hi Jake, I've been following the channel for a while and I would love to get your input on my taxable portfolio. I'm 27 years old and pursuing my doctoral degree. I'm married and we plan on starting a family and buying a house in the next 3 to 4 years. I have a Roth IRA that I prioritize and max out, which is heavy in probably VGT and SHD. I'm not interested in FIRE and don't really think early retirement is an option for me, but I would like to build a taxable account that I could either begin drawing from before I retire or to establish generational wealth. I've begun getting into dividend growth investing and means to pursue these goals and would love for you to examine my taxable account. I can invest $500 a month in my taxable account. I have a long-term time horizon of 30 years or so, and I'm not averse to some risk, but I do plan on adjusting my targets when I'm 40 or so I can by slowly lowering growth and slowly reallocating toward SCHD. I believe that individual stocks I've selected for this portfolio either have extremely wide moats, or the potential for high growth or both. Okay, I'm eager to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Love your channel. Okay, so Hayden, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you saying that. A couple of things. So yeah, if you're going and you're pursuing a doctoral degree, it means you're going to be, in school for quite a while. I remember in Germany when I was doing my master's, I was thinking, okay, do I want to get a DBA or like a PhD? And I would have been in my mid 30s to early 40s before finishing. And I was like, you know what? Nah, that's not what I ultimately wanted to do. But if you already know right off the bat that you don't want to pursue fire, there's so many options for you, so many things that you can consider. But I think starting off with a conservative growth and going from there is a great way to start. So let's take a look at your portfolio. So this is in your taxable account. So in your Roth account and your 401ks, I would hope that you would invest primarily for growth. Now, in your taxable account, you want to make sure that it's tax efficient, right? Because right now, the goal is not to live off the income right now. So why the heck would you want to make give yourself this unnecessary burden of the high taxes every year, at tax time? So I like the dividend yield of 1.7. I like the low expense ratio. I like the low amount of holdings. And I love the fact that you are following the core and satellite approach, right? Where you have your core portfolio in ETFs and you have individual companies, though I'm pulling out my hair freaking out that it's 7%, and I'm joking. It's okay. You can have 7%. It's okay. Cool. It's okay. I wouldn't do it, but you can do it. It's okay. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that it's like one of those things. Oh man. Anyways. Okay. So SCHG, I really like SCHG as a growth ETF. This is not an ETF that you're really going to live off of the dividend, right? What is the dividend here? The dividend is less than 0.5%. This is not an ETF that you live off the dividend, okay? This is an ETF focused on total returns growth. This is a flip, okay? It's important that you understand this, okay? I know there's going to be hundreds of you that are like, okay, here's the light bulb. This right here is a flip. You're buying this house and you're going to sell it. This right here, and same with VTI, right? This one, you buy it and you sell it. SCHD is a rental property. This is an investment that you buy and hold it forever and you pass it on down to your kids. Okay? So it's important that you understand that. So as you mentioned in your email, once you reach the age of 40, you can then slowly start either transitioning out or lowering your percentage in these and increasing your percentage into this. Okay, makes sense? Good. All right. In terms of the other ones, Hershey's, I think is fine. I think Mr. Beast is going after them and trying to steal market share from them. So I bet you that Feastables from Mr. Beast gets bought out by Hershey's. I bet you. Unless he like totally trashes them and like, really, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to sell out like Ryan Reynolds. We'll have to see. But I'm bummed. So you got Domino's, you got Snap-on, you got Canadian Rail. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fine. These are your satellite positions. You hold them for personal reasons based off of your own conviction and understanding. But as it stands, I really, really like your strategy. I think it adds for flexibility. Should you change your mind in 10 years and be like, oh man, I studied for way too long and I can barely move. I want to retire before I'm 60, right? So you have flexibility. You could always reposition this into something else. Yeah, and I mean, you're going to be having kids, so you got a lot of stuff ahead of you. I like keeping it simple. I like your portfolio. I think you're going to do very well. Thank you so much for sending over your portfolio. All right, the last portfolio is from Liz. She writes, hello, Jake. I revved up my financial journey since the pandemic started, and your channel has quickly become one of my favorites. I think I'll be ready to retire in 13 years at the age of 57. I turn 44 tomorrow. Well, Liz, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much for saying that. I work for a medical center which offers TRS, so the Teacher Retirement System of Texas, with a mandatory contribution of 8.25% and an 8.25 match. That's incredible. There's no transparency on what funds this plan invests in, but it's my understanding that it's a mutual fund that will give me a monthly payment. So if they're matching it, even if it's a crappy mutual fund, if I was in your shoes, I would do it as well, because 8.25% is free money. They probably charge a 1% to 2% fee, those sons of a guns, but that's just how it is, I guess. You can't have any control over that. I also contribute to our optional retirement 403b account via Fidelity at $9,000 pre-tax. I increase this contribution by 25 to 50 more per month, depending on the merit bonuses or promotions. There's a set list of funds to choose from for this account, but not all the funds or ETFs choices you'd normally get with Fidelity. Finally, my third retirement account is a Roth IRA at Fidelity, which I maxed out for the past 3 years, and I plan on maxing out until I retire. I had the freedom to choose what funds I wanted for this Roth. If all goes well, my mortgage will be completely paid off about 6 months before my planned retirement date, which I'm very happy about. That's exciting. It's my understanding that I can roll over my TRS and my optional 403b to a traditional rollover IRA once I retire. I'll buy the funds you recently recommended in your Simple Path to Wealth and Core and Satellite portfolio. Afterwards, it appears that I can convert the standard deduction amount from the rollover IRA to a Roth IRA without having to pay taxes for that year. The plan is to convert the standard deduction each year until the money from the Roth IRA to the... Oh, you are smart, Liz. This is really, really smart. Talk about tax efficiency. This is like ninja style. Like, this is really, really smart. Kudos to you for having that idea. Have you heard about this rollover? Yeah, I have heard about it. It's a great idea, by the way. I got this info from another financial YouTuber, and it looks like it checks out. If true, I'd like to see a video from you explaining this process. Here are my current totals and percentage for each account. I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for your great videos, and best of luck in your next chapter for you and your family. Take care, Liz. Liz, thank you so much. I really appreciate you saying that. In terms of this, when it comes to the rollover and the conversions, all that stuff, you want to make sure that you are educated and you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to get a scary tax return, because when you convert a traditional account, whether it be a Roth IRA, a 401k, or anything similar, into a Roth IRA, you will pay taxes in the year that you do the conversion. So there's two words. There's a rollover and there's a conversion. When you convert, there's a taxable event. When you roll over, there is no taxable event because you were doing a like-kind transfer, like a like-kind rollover from one account to another. You follow me? Okay. So you want to make sure that you're understanding what it means to do a conversion, because you will be paying taxes. And this is very, very important. Very, very important, because I learned this the hard way. I wasn't always so smart. When I was in my first job, I was contributing to a Roth 401k, but your employer's contributions are pre-tax, meaning they are contributing to a traditional 401k. So when I do that conversion of the entire account, a portion, my contributions will be a rollover, a like kind, but my employer's contributions are not. And so I have to pay taxes on my employer's contributions. Okay? It can be a little bit tricky and confusing, but that's how it works, and it's important that you understand how it works. Okay, so let's take a look at this. You got your Roth IRA currently at 17K, 2024 contributions around 7,000. Okay, so you got, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I'm not a wizard, Harry. I don't have every ETF or mutual fund or index fund by memory. I'm not that nerdy. I'm not 100% what these are, but in my opinion, whenever you're going with, ETFs or index funds, you want to make sure that you're getting low fee ones. You know what? Let me pull this up really quick. I know I'm going to get some bozo in the comments saying, why don't you know every single fund and why don't you look it up? Okay, I'll look it up. All right. So you got the zero. Okay. So this is the total US stock market. This is like VTI, but it has, I believe, zero expense ratio. So yeah, I really, really like this. I really like this. So you got the total US stock market. What one is this? All right, so let's take a look at this one really quick. So you got the information technology one. So this would be the equivalent of VGT. So that we're speaking the same language. This is VTI. This is VGT. I'm more familiar with the Vanguard funds. And you got DJRO and SHD. I really, really like this. Now, coming back, if you watched my other review of the other person just a moment ago, I said, is this a rental property or is this a flip? These two right here, these are 100% a rental property. You will hold these until the day you die. You don't sell these. These you pass on to your kids. These two right here, once you reach retirement, ideally what you want to do is you have a couple of options. You can either let them ride until forever, or you can sell them. You can either rebalance them into SEHD, or you can buy a car, go on a vacation, go on a house, whatever. These right here, these are a flip. This is a rental property. Okay, let's take a look at and I really like this setup, by the way. I like it. The only thing is you don't have any international, like true international exposure, though, the total US stock market, like a third of the revenues from the company are generated international. So by definition, you have international and you don't have the currency risk, but you don't have any direct exposure to international, which is not the end of the world. I don't have a ton either. And I think that's fine. Let's take a look at the next one. You got optional. So this is like your company's 401k, and you only have limited options. Let's see what this one is here really quick. So you got the S&P 500. I think the S&P 500 is great. All right, let's take a look at the next one that you had in here. You got the T. Rowe Dividend Growth Fund, institutional. Okay, you got the dividend growth one. What is the expense ratio on this one? Oh, good mercy. Blah, blah, blah. 0.5% of an expense ratio. Okay. So Liz, I think we found something that we can optimize here. This is what I would recommend you consider. Okay. Now, what I'm going to recommend to you, I walk the walk because I do the exact same thing. Diversifying just for the sake of diversification is not always the best choice. The S&P 500 is 10 times better, in my opinion, than this one right here. Okay, so in my opinion, I would much prefer investing 100% in the S&P 500 and leave this shenanigans crap off to the side. That's me personally. Let me give you an example. When I was at one of my jobs, I had the option, kind of similar to you. I had the S&P 500 and a bunch of other ones like dividend growth, but they charged insane expense fees. And so what I did, I put 100% in the S&P 500. I didn't even waste time with all that other crap. You already have other diversification in your other accounts. It's okay. It might sound counterintuitive, but it's okay to put 100% in one of your accounts in the best of the best, which is the S&P 500. In my opinion, right away, if anyone, doesn't matter for you or anyone, if this was my wife's account, what I would do is say, hey, take everything out and put it all into this. And I would do it tomorrow. That's just me personally. Okay, and then your other ones, you got the matches. Okay, so pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Here in your Roth IRA, here you have diversification. Okay, you got the total US stock market, you got the technology ETF. Here, there's nothing wrong with having 100% into the S&P 500. And then once you quit your job or you retire, you can always convert this and roll this over, convert this into your Roth IRA, and then distribute it among the others. But for now, paying those insane fees is just not worth it, in my opinion. Liz, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for sending over your portfolio. I get asked all the time how to invest into a Roth IRA. What is a Roth IRA? I made 2 entire videos on this topic when it comes to investing into your Roth IRA. In fact, a year ago, I made this video, how to invest with a Roth IRA for the long term. In this video, I share my entire Roth allocation. I show how I invest in my Roth IRA and how I view this, okay? And in my Roth IRA, just as a spoiler kind of for this video, you know how I talked about investing into real estate, in the stock market, the analogy, the real estate analogy? I invest to flip my Roth IRA, okay? Once I reach the age of 60, I'm going to sell my investments and then reallocate the money somewhere else, maybe SHD, maybe a high dividend ETF, maybe a house, I don't know. But in my cash flow portfolio in M1 Finance, it's very much a rental property. I view it as I'm never going to sell it and I live off of the income. It's important that you understand that, okay? So if you're interested in that video, I'll have this video pop up at the end. You can watch this video next. Thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you in next week's video.
Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Sakarpara, eh?
You know what? I think we're gonna be friends. Can everyone say hi to my friend? That's crazy. I just wanted to say thanks. I'm glad you came along, partner.